Cascade Aerospace is part of Conair Inc. Their primary focus is on heavy maintenance, overhaul, and repair. Cascade is a very safety-conscious company. We believe in safety as being job one. We do not want to suffer any fatalities or any serious injury. And so we've invested a lot of time and training in the effort to ensure that we meet that mandate every day. When we get a new individual employee that comes into the hangar, we put them through a week of training, with the majority of that focused on safety. So we emphasize a lot of the equipment training and its proper use. We also provide awareness on the material safety data sheet. We walk through how those sheets are used and what the precautions are associated with the use of those chemicals. And that's what we arm the young workers with before sending them to the floor.
I was really impressed, the way that they gave you all the basics, what you need to know. They had everything, they had a plan for you. This is what we're going to teach you day one. This is what we're going to teach you day two. We're going to, make sure you're comfortable. We want to introduce you to as many people as we can, tell you who they are and what they're responsible for. Safety was a big issue that they're always pushing for.
Ray Matthews is a lead in the avionics shop, and he works with a lot of the young avionics techs in order to bring them through the programs.
Well, we've hired a lot of new people here in the last year or two. Some of the things we run into is a lot of them have just come out of high school, went through technical school, and this is one of their first jobs in the industry. So they don't really know what to expect. They're usually nervous. They don't know if they're going to fit in. One of the things you have to worry about.
The first few days, we would go walk around the aircraft to get familiar with what are moving parts, where everything is located, how systems work. You'd go through the cockpit. He'd show you what happens if you turn this switch, what happens if you do that switch. He'd make me go to the computer, look up my own references. He'd make sure I'm familiar with the paperwork procedures.
If they come onto my crew, first thing we do is we just introduce them to everybody, try to get them into a team spirit right off the bat, try to make them feel comfortable, because we find that if people are comfortable, they're more apt to open up, ask questions, and that's some of the main things we want them to do, is ask questions if they don't know exactly what they're up to. We always pair them with an experienced person, somebody who's had the training, had the courses, has the time in the industry, and over the next few weeks or months, or many months, depending on the new employee, how they're doing and how they're progressing, we evaluate them, we do progress reports on them. We're always talking with the new employee and with the experienced person they're paired with to see how they're doing with their technical abilities, how they're doing getting on with the other workers on the crew.
Well, we do have a formal timeline for technical knowledge, which is about 6 months for the apprentice to gain an understanding of his work, and that the crew lead can gain a level of confidence that the guy is able to competently perform the jobs.
It's a personal feel of how they're developing. It's how they're progressing. Whether or not they're confident with themselves, whether or not you think this person would be ready to go out and do a job by themselves in 5 weeks, whereas another person might be 10 weeks.
We engage in a lot of communication, either through hangar meetings or through walking on the floor and talking to folks. And we get a lot of feedback and insight on how better to improve the induction training for new hires, so that when these guys come on the floor and interface directly with the leads, they have a level of comfort and understanding. A lot of the workers that go on the floor really identify with I understand what you guys are trying to do and say when we were going through that training, and this really does help me a lot. I'm appreciative of the fact that I got that before just being sent out on the floor to go ahead and use that equipment without any information at the front end. It makes them feel like the company cares in their well-being, and as part of the ability to get the most out of young workers these days, the individuals have to identify with you, the company, and what your culture basically exemplifies. And one of the things that we strongly stress is the safety and well-being of the people that come and work here.